of Dementia Action Week. Who are you? What's your role? And where can people find you?
Right. Well, my role within the Dementia Action Week is I work for PAVS, and many of you may have heard of PAVS in Pembrokeshire. So we support community groups to support those people, in my role, support those people with living with dementia. So I'm the Dementia Community Supportive Development Officer. So I work with the groups in the communities to increase the activities that are out there. So it could be called social prescribing. It's the sorts of things that are now enable people to not be isolated and lonely, to have friends, to be able to get out and be able to be part of the community, which is really what we want people to do.
Yeah, and I know that you have got many things every week going on across Pembrokeshire. Just give us a couple of highlights then.
We have, well, every week there's a Wednesday group. It's called the Wednesday Club, and they run out of sort of Saundersfoot and Tenby, and every week there's something different. So there's a different activity. So they have a walk, they have a games morning, they have an afternoon tea, they go on a mystery tour if there's an extra Wednesday in the month, and they do all sorts of really brilliant things. So that's a great group. There's a lovely group in St David's, Chamomile group, Tindowie. They run all sorts of things. In fact, this week we've got a gong bath with the wonderful Catherine Saunders. So they're running that on Wednesday afternoon for their members, and they have tea and chat and biscuits, and every week there's somebody to talk to them, to do something different. So we not only helping people get together, we're helping them find out things as well. We've had Paul Sartori come, all sorts of people come to give some information about what it is that goes on and how we can help individuals in the community.
Because it's a sad reality that when people are diagnosed with I'm going to call life-limiting conditions, that isolation then comes hand in hand in that. And without these groups, it could very be easily, I just exist with dementia or similar kind of Alzheimer's-related illnesses, and then you can't go anywhere.
No, and the research shows that the more isolated somebody is, the sooner the symptoms get worse.
Oh, wow.
So, the people benefit from being part of part of a community. So, yeah.
And isn't it great that all of these organizations, I'm holding up, if you're on social media, you'll see that I've got some paper in front of me. There's multiple pieces of paper. There are plenty of options to go out and integrate and reduce that sense of loneliness and isolation.
Every day there's something on. Wednesdays are our mega day. That's an amazing amount that goes on a Wednesday. So it's losing this headphone, and that is incredible what goes on a Wednesday. So yeah, it's great. But even over the weekend, I run a group once a month at Scolton Manor on a Saturday called Havanatta, and that brings people out and we play games, and we sometimes have a lovely bit of cake or a nice lunch or whatever people want to do. But yeah, it's just about getting people together, and weekends can be very lonely for people, especially for the carers, and that's what we want to aim for, is the carers. I cared for my mum, and she had dementia. I cared for her for 7 years till she passed away, so I know what it's like being a carer for somebody with dementia, and the joy that my mum had of going out to events and going to things and being part of them really kept her going.
Yeah, because there can be this illusion that, well, they're not going to remember it, so what's the point? But actually, you can't think of anything. Like, it's the complete opposite in that moment in time. It is.
We have there is research in that there's two parts of the brain, and one of them is for the actual things, so the physical things that you can see and do. So going to the beach, having an ice cream, remembering those sorts of events. But there's also the emotion. There's a part of the brain that remembers the emotion that brings. So, but people say, well, I'm not going to bother take her out because she doesn't remember even when we get back that she's been out. But what she does remember is the warmth and the emotion that gives her or him. And that will stay with them. And that then becomes a connection to you because you created that warmth. And there are scientific terms for those parts of the brain, and I can't remember them at this time in the morning, but there's different parts of the brain that have, one's the physical, one's the emotions. So it's really important to keep people going.
And in this Dementia Action Week, imagine it's a really convenient time to remind people and also increase people's knowledge about the conditions. There's so many myths about dementia and Alzheimer's that this week people can actually, I'm going to research a little bit about it. What other myths can be debunked?
I mean, the dementia, the Alzheimer's website has a lot going on this week about Dementia Action Week. What I'm going to be doing on Thursday lunchtime is running a little session about how, as a community, as a business, as an individual, that you can actually become a dementia friend. So I'm a Dementia Friends ambassador for the Alzheimer's Society as well. And I work in the community with the council to make Pembrokeshire dementia friendly. That's our aim. So we're looking to encourage organisations to come, businesses to come, community groups to come along and to find out how they can become dementia friendly. I've recently worked with the National Coast Parks, and they said what an incredible difference it was to just few simple tweaks that really help change people's experience of their activities and their events.
Gina.
Yeah, I was going to say, as a business in Pembrokeshire, you may think, oh my goodness, it's going to be lots of changes that we'll have to make. But like you mentioned, it might just be little things. And I remember there's one thing that reminds me, the mat as you go into, it's just remind me about the mat.
Yeah, because somebody with dementia, the vision changes, and the perception changes, and that obviously develops as the condition progresses. But they would see a black mat coming into a shop or a business. A black mat looks like a hole, and it looks scary because they think they might fall into it. It's the same with puddles in the road. They look like holes, and it's very, very scary and very unsettling. And a lot of dementia has a lot of anxiety with it. So putting that sort of barrier to somebody going into a business or into a shop can really, really help. So we have a beautiful bright blue mat, and it has forget-me-nots on it, and it's about dementia friends. So once a business has gone through the process, we would give them a mat and they can use that. You might see a few of them around in Pembrokeshire so far.
Wonderful.
Yeah, because once you've upskilled yourself and then you're becoming more knowledgeable, you're more likely to want to welcome these groups and individuals in as well, as opposed to thinking, why is this person acting strange around the front of my shop? Like being genuinely scared that there's a hole in the ground. Once you're aware of that, you can take action.
And once we can sort of talk to the staff and explain to them how somebody with dementia can be helped, we can, help them even pay, because it's confusing. People get confused about the cost of what things are, what money is, what they're supposed to do. And that can be really helpful, rather than somebody being, oh goodness, what are they doing? To maybe take a little bit longer and say, oh, actually, maybe they need some help. And the Dementia Friends session is only about 3/4 of an hour. Well, we did it, didn't we?
Yeah, we did it. We did it before choir,
in your choir group. So, it's not very long. It's very informative. People get a lot from it. Lots of questions come out of it. Everybody gets a lovely little badge, like I've got here. If you can see that on the social media, we've got a little badge to say you're a dementia friend. And it's just about committing to being kind to somebody, to chatting to somebody, to maybe just being aware. We're not asking you to go and do anything. We're not asking you to become anything. We're just asking you to be aware. And obviously, if you want to get involved, there's opportunities to raise funds for the dementia, for Alzheimer's Society too.
Paul Gisborne-Hilton's been in touch. Good morning, Gina, Tom and Angela. Thank you for highlighting Dementia Awareness Week with your guest, Angela Reid from PAVS. I'm sure that you've probably crossed paths with Paul at some point through his work with PAVS.
Paul's the new chair of the 50 Plus Forum, which obviously is making a huge difference to us within Pembrokeshire community, and a great support for everything that we're doing as well. So thank you, Paul.
So if someone wanted to find out more about the upcoming events that we started talking about earlier on, particularly those that we've got Wonderful Wednesdays here on the radio. It sounds like a wonderful Wednesday wherever you are, where you're concerned, and they want to find out more about this week and these sessions to become dementia friends and dementia organisations. Where can they go? Where can I find this information?
At the moment, I'm on Facebook as Angela PAVS. So you can find that, but I do try and share it, and a lot of people do share all that. So that goes on every week on today. If somebody wants to specifically have it, I'm more than happy to put them on my mailing list, and that goes out again every week directly to you. So just drop me a line, get in contact, or speak to the radio and get an email over, and I will put you on my list, and you can have one yourselves.
Yeah, and Gina, a very pleasant surprise is that many of these events that are on the newsletter are on our website.
Yes, they are, because I see the newsletter and I get it forwarded on to our What's-Ons. So we are delighted to be having those as well, because we do have our What's-Ons here on the radio throughout the day, every day. And we love to highlight things that are going on. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you very much for your support. It's been brilliant. Thank you.
You're welcome. And just a reminder, if people want those dementia sessions, they're not limited to this week. You do them whenever's convenient.
Anytime. I mean, I've had dementia friends sessions for the Brownies, for organisations, for companies. So anybody who wants a session, I'm happy to do them evenings, weekends, whatever suits you best.
Amazing. Angela, thank you so much for joining us.
That's great.
Is there anything else you want to add that you think, I need to mention that before I go?
I'll tell you what, there is a conference coming up on the 1st of July. I'm involved in organising that. It is in Carmarthen, but it will be for Carmarthen, Pembrokeshire and Ceredigion. So it's a group organisation through the health board, through everything that we're doing, and it'll just be a lovely day to listen to some speakers. It's open to health professionals, to those living with dementia and their carers.
Excellent.
So
Lovely.
that'll be coming out more and more on social media shortly.
Yes, that's on the 1st of July. So keep our eyes peeled on your social media in particular to find out when that's happening.
Yeah.
We've already got information on a QR code, so we'll try and get that on our website for you.
Okay, brilliant.
So those living with the condition, those affected, are able to find out more, because dementia, Alzheimer's, the umbrella, it's a really complex system of things. And I've been doing it with Parkinson's recently, and I didn't realise fully just how related the conditions are.
Yeah, so dementia is the big umbrella, and Alzheimer's is one of the conditions of dementia, as is Parkinson's. So there's a few common ones that people have heard of: vascular dementia, frontal lobal, those sorts of things. But there's 108 different
it's
conditions under the umbrella of dementia. So it is massive, and it will get more and more. The research is showing that people will be diagnosed with dementia younger and younger as time goes on in the next sort of 10-15 years.
So if we can all do our bit now to make our society and our understanding greater now, then we can reduce our that feeling of suffering a little bit later on.
Yes, definitely addressing our lifestyle and the way that people are living at this current moment in time.
Angela, thank you so much for joining us. I haven't briefed you for this. I'm going to put you on the spot. Gina, do you have any last thoughts?
No, just that I think we are extremely lucky here in Pembrokeshire to have so much support, and please don't be alone. If you are a family member and you're a carer and you need support, then please do reach out. That's all I'm going to say this morning.
Contact the community hub. The community hub will support you. There are 6 community connectors within Pembrokeshire who will absolutely come out and see you and talk to you and find out how they can help you.
And the next community hour with Lee from the Community Hub is this coming Sunday.
Well, there we are.
So we may even hear some more there. 5 Animal Frolics on Instagram. Good morning and great work done by Angela, who's watching over on the social media there. I'm going to put you on the spot. You may have guessed that we're on a radio show, and when I primed you with that, Jean's given you an extra 30 seconds.
Okay.
A song that you would like to hear on the radio.
I'm hopeless at knowing what songs are. I love music, but I can't ever tell you a title.
That's okay.
Yeah,
we'll play one of these, and then we'll talk to you behind the scenes, and we'll figure out a song and we'll get it on for you.
All right, brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Thanks very much.
Angela, once again, thank you so much for joining us.
Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's 8:45. Still got some letters for Unscramble on the way to get yourself an annual family pass to Folly Farm. Have you got them lined up, Jean?
I have indeed. It's a nice one today.
And we're going to be catching up with the Vanessa Castle competition winner out in Ibiza. That's all still to come on your breakfast show with Folly Farm.
Wake up with Gina and Tom.